Welcome to the SMO Podcast. My name is Whitney, and today I'll be asking each guest 7 questions in 7 minutes. Here is the first look of our guest that will be speaking live on our stage. Look below to see what you'll say differently. And here is our next episode.
Hello, everyone. My name is Whitney, and I'm here with the SMO Podcast. Today, we are here with guest speaker Cindy Baker. Cindy, for everyone that is watching, can you tell us who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm an executive function coach, which means all things productivity. I help people grow their business without burnout by helping them with focus, time management, organization. So I work with a lot of entrepreneurs that have ADHD, but they don't all have ADHD, but that's sort of my specialty.
That's awesome. Can you kind of tell us, for the viewers that are watching here today and everyone that will watch this, just tell us a little bit about what led you to actually take this path seriously? How did you get started in the first place?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have a background of working with kids. I was in youth ministry and then a school counselor and educator. I have a master's in counseling, and I was working with a lot of adolescents that had ADHD. And I thought, you know what? I think I have this. I recognized the symptoms and learned that adults could be diagnosed with ADHD. Of course, that's common knowledge now, but at the time, I wasn't really hearing much about that. And so once I learned that I had ADHD, I just began to study everything I could about adult productivity and ADHD and how to work with the way my brain is wired. Started doing things differently. Instead of trying to be the traditional time management guru, I practiced different ways of doing things that go along with this new way of thinking and started to really see success. People started asking me for advice. I joined a business coaching program, learned how to do an online business, and became a coach, and did it on the side while I was teaching for about 4 years. And then I retired early, and now I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So it just kind of morphed into productivity coaching.
That's amazing. It seems like it kind of came around full circle, and now you're full-blown entrepreneurship and serving people that, really need to learn how to focus more. I think everyone can, learn that skill set a little bit more and apply that in their businesses. So it's definitely needed. Would you say there was like a mindset shift that changed everything for you?
Yeah. I always tell this story. I was supposed to be starting a big project, and I thought, well, I'll get started in a minute. I'm just going to check my email first. And 30 minutes later, I'm watching puppy yoga videos and wasting time. And we all do that, and it hit me. I thought, I'm not just procrastinating. I'm actually giving away my dreams. I'm not building the life that I want. And I'm not getting any younger. I'm just wasting time. So I stopped trying to manage my time so much and started managing my focus. And that was kind of the mindset shift, because if you can harness your attention, then that's where your energy is going to go. And that's what a lot of people miss. They try to manage time, but time can't really be managed. People say, well, I wish I just had more time. Well, if you had more time, you would use it the same way you're using the time you have now. So it's not really about doing more and managing time. It's about doing what matters in the time that you have. And so, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you need to be doing what moves the needle in your business and not watching puppy yoga videos all the time. Although they are cute.
That's so good. I think mine was American Idol. That was definitely my distraction. So I think we all have our, thing of what actually distracts us and, ways we can be able to manage that time a little bit better. So for the listener, because you're the expert here, I want to know from you, what are 3 things that you think everyone should be doing? 1 or 2 or 3 things that everyone should be doing in order to learn how to manage their time with the time that they have and focus better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. Because there's a lot of things, but if you just boil it down, this is not going to sound like time management advice, but one thing is to prioritize sleep because your brain needs to repair itself. And there are so many people who just burn the candle at both ends and they don't take care of themselves. And they go nonstop all day and then they say, okay, well now I need some time to myself. So I'm gonna sit here and veg out in front of the TV or scroll or whatever, eat junk food, whatever they do. And they just waste time that they need to be sleeping. So that's the one thing. The other is to, it's fine to have a to-do list. That's okay. But you need to be able to pick no more than 3 top priorities to focus on each day. That doesn't mean you're only going to get 3 things done, but if you're just looking at a giant to-do list, everything looks equally important. And so what do? We end up doing the easy thing. We reach for the low-hanging fruit. Because we love to cross things off and it feels good, gives you a little dopamine hit. But a lot of times those are not the important things. And we get to the end of the day and we think, well, I was busy all day and it felt productive, but I don't even know what I got done, and I still have this big project that I should have been working on. So, prioritizing is huge. And that's one of the things I help people with. I have a group coaching program. We spend a lot of time on that. One of the things that helps me is to write down 1 to 3 big priorities. And what I mean by a big priority is the outcome matters. So for instance, if you do it, then it's going to make a big difference. If you don't do it, there's going to be a negative consequence, you know? And so I write those on an index card and put it on my desk the night before. And that way, when I wake up in the morning, I've already got a plan. And if I just can focus on those 3 things, even if the rest of the day goes nuts, I've still won because I did my important things. So that's another thing. And I think, gosh, there's more than 3, but I think another thing is to work in focused sprints. So instead of just trying to power through when you've lost your concentration, set a timer, pick one of those important things. And if it's a big thing, you'll have to break it into little pieces, pick one piece of it. And then as best as you can, limit all distractions, put noise canceling headphones on if you have to, put your phone in another room, whatever you got to do, close the door, set a timer because the timer instills urgency, and then focus all of your attention on that one thing for a predetermined amount of time, no more than 90 minutes. And I just do 25 minutes because I have ADHD. That's about all I can handle. And then get up, physically stand up, take a break when the timer goes off for 5 minutes. And if you think you're going to waste time in the break, then set a 5-minute timer. But you'd be amazed at how much you can get done if you work in focused sprints like that, rather than just, not having any end time. So I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. I
In a
absolutely love
nutshell.
everything you're saying. And I think this is so relatable. I think everyone that is listening can take bits and pieces and the gems and the wisdom that you're sharing because, I think we can all become better at focusing on one thing or doing the thing that, allows us to reach our dream goal, our, destination, or even just the simple tasks that you talked about each day, to more than just check it off, but to actually, win the day. And so I love what you're sharing. And I think that it's super, super valuable. And I think for the person listening, can also take away so many things, from this conversation. So to dive a little bit deeper into that, because there's a lot here. Cindy, can you tell us essentially, was there ever a moment that you felt like you wanted to quit but didn't? And what allowed you to persevere?
Yes. Uh, about a year or maybe a year and a half ago, I really started to wonder if I should just burn it all down, you know? Um, and it was because I wasn't making the money that I needed to be making. And I was, you know, uh, felt like I was spinning my wheels. And I talked to a business coach who reminded me of the things, the people that I'd helped and the things that were working. And, just reminded me that it's a long game. And it kind of, I don't know, encouraged me or bolstered me back up. And then I'm a person of faith. And so I prayed about it. And I just uh, looked for wisdom in the word and tried to decide, is this what I need to be doing at this time in my life? And I decided to stick with it. And then I started to see some things turn around. And if I just, if I'd stepped out then I wouldn't have had the successes. I mean, I went on to write a book, um, got speaking engagements and different things that I would have missed out on, and then other people who were served by those things would have missed out as well. So, there's no easy answer. Everybody's situation is individual, and I would say to those who have a side hustle, my advice would be don't quit your day job too soon. Wait, I had a pension as a teacher, so I didn't just jump into the deep end, Um, that would be my only advice. But whether or not you're supposed to be doing it, that's between you and your advisors and your higher power.
Yeah, that's really good. I love that. I think it sounds like honestly you just made a decision and you just decided to stay and to push through it. And that's what led you here today. And I love that you were able to, go from a 9 to 5 and working to now just fully step into entrepreneurship and to be
Yeah.
able to serve all the people. And again, so many people, because again, everyone can use this, utilize information that you know.
Yes.
Cindy, tell us, because I feel like a lot of your work is making people feel seen and heard. What does being seen and heard mean to you personally?
You mean in business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in business and essentially what is that transformation that people are, getting from you?
Yeah. So to me, it's very encouraging when I can instill hope in people because when people see that there's another way to live, that they don't have to be overwhelmed all the time and stressed out, that they can actually reach their goals, not just set a New Year's resolution and then set the same one the next year. But that's fulfilling to me because the light goes on in their eyes and they're like, wow, I didn't know I could actually work with the way my brain is wired and do things differently. And um, so I enjoy that. And as far as being seen and heard, no one can benefit from any of my services if they don't know who I am. And I think it's important, especially now, because I think that there have been a lot of people who've been burned by online um, coaches and gurus, and they spent a lot of money and they didn't get the results, and so now they're leery, and their feed is just full of ads, and people trying to sell them something all the time, and so I think it's important to build that trust in people, for them to see me. I do a lot of things for free just so that people can get to know, like, and trust me.
Absolutely. I totally believe in that as well. I remember someone paying for essentially a consultation without actually knowing who they are. And I feel like sometimes you have to know the person in order to, know if you want to buy from them. And so
Yeah.
I love that, you believe in like giving free value and allowing people to really know you and learn from you before, they actually buy. And so I think you definitely did a great job at that today, at serving us and allowing us to, actually apply practical strategies. Because I feel like that's the best way to learn, is to actually know how we can apply those things to our lives, more than just motivation. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. It was good to be here.
Yeah, no, I love it. Do you have any last words for us? Can you also tell us where we can find you?
Yeah, I actually have a free gift for your listeners, so I'll give you that link. It's kind of a long link. I tried to shorten it, but they gave me some weird stuff. So, but it is a focus blueprint, and I think people will really find some benefit from that. And so, final words would be, take it a day at a time. Every day you're not going to be 100% productive, and that's okay. Just start where you are, make tiny changes. Small things that you do on a consistent basis over time has a compounding effect, just like interest in a bank account. And so start to build those small habits, get some help if you need it, and be kind to yourself. That would be my final word.
I love that. Thank you so much, Cindy. I'm excited for all the listeners to get to know you, to dive deeper into everything that you're doing, and to pick your brain a little bit more. So for all the listeners, everyone that is watching today, we'll be happy to share the gift that Cindy has allowed you to learn from and to see today. So make sure that you get access to that. Click the link below. And hopefully you'll see Cindy again soon on maybe one of our stages. So thank you so much for being here, Cindy. And
thank
hope
you.
to see you soon.
Thank you.